Guys. Hey guys, it's Casey. Welcome to Heaven on Earth, where it's my goal to bring a little piece of heaven into your lives. So, I got a request from one of my followers on Instagram. It was a question about middle school. Might as well, I'll just read it. The person said, back to school as a middle schooler these days. Self-confidence, having God in your school life, loving yourself, protecting your heart from fake relationships. So I decided to come up with a middle school survival guide. It has been 4 years since I was in middle school, and a lot has changed in those past 4 years, so I don't really know everything. But I asked my friends and I put together something, like a little something, so let's hope this helps. Let's get into the video. The first thing I'll put is to expect things to change, but don't be afraid of change. So like 5th grade, like everything was great. There was like no drama, but then 6th grade, it was like everyone like changes over that summer. Just middle school is like really different. It's like, so you're with the same people, well I was, but they suddenly changed, and then like there was more drama and stuff, and I'm not trying to say this to like freak you out, but you have to expect these things. My second tip is not to get involved in drama, and it's just because middle school and high school there's gonna be a ton of drama, and you need to try to distance yourself from that because it can really take a toll on you, and just it can ruin friendships, and it's just exhausting. If you can try to avoid it, I would say avoid as much as possible. And number 3, people change, which is kind of like number 1, but I don't know. Just not everyone's gonna be the same as they were in elementary school because they think they're older now. Well, like you are older, but they think like, oh, I have to act older. So some of them try to act older than they actually are, and just expect that to happen, and don't do that. Don't grow up too fast. You're only in middle school. I mean, come on, have a childhood. 4, pay attention in class because homework starts to get harder. Again, I'm not trying to scare you about middle school, but like the homework starts to get harder and you need to pay more attention. It's really weird because like going from middle school to high school, like the homework did get harder, but I feel like it wasn't as drastic a change as it was from elementary school to middle school because they start preparing you for high school right away in middle school. And it's just, I just feel like it requires more attention. It's just, that's at least what I remember. Number 5, don't get too stressed out. You're only in middle school, you don't need to stress out, everything's gonna be fine. Like I said, like don't try to grow up too fast, that can cause a lot of stress. Just have fun with your friends. And if you are keeping up with your homework and paying attention in class, you shouldn't be as stressed because in middle school, I mean, when I was middle school age, we didn't have a lot of homework. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't think you're gonna have a lot of homework until you hit high school, so. Number 6, don't worry about relationships. Most relationships in middle school don't really last like more than like a week. So I really don't think you should worry about that. Like really, once you get into high school, you're barely even gonna remember your middle school girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. Especially when you're an adult, you're gonna forget that they even happened because they lasted like 2 days. I mean, I just don't think that middle school dating is like the best thing unless you are mature and ready for it, and but that's the thing, you're only at middle school age, so you're not really, I don't know, I just don't think it's that, I don't think that's a good idea. I'm not saying don't do it, but just gonna say that those, like when I was in middle school, I wanted a relationship so bad because I saw everyone else having relationships, but then I realized they didn't even last that long. Like I thought they did, but then I reached high school where like relationships lasted months and years, and I was like, whoa, okay. So middle school relationships are nothing really, so I wouldn't worry about that. Okay, number 7, self-confidence. Just be yourself and accept who you are, who God made you to be. We're all fearfully and wonderfully made by God in His image, and there's no reason to feel self-conscious. I know, you're gonna feel it. Everyone does. There's always gonna be someone prettier than you, and that sucks. And it's hard to see all these girls and stuff, but like, when you're in middle school, you're really going through like an awkward stage. Like in middle school, I didn't look good at all. I was wearing neon pants and we were wearing silly bands, and I did not know how to do my eyeliner. It was like that thick. And then I didn't put on mascara. It was a rough time, folks. Rough time. But see, it's just we all like learn from those mistakes, obviously. And in middle school, and it's like a transition period, and like you're all going through like an awkward phase. Guys' voices are changing, and it's just all just different. And it's really, I think middle school is really just a transition period, and you just need to accept that and know that you are beautiful, handsome, whatever, the way God made you to be, and you don't need to worry about being self-conscious. You shouldn't be self-conscious. Number 8, having God in your school life. I think maybe what I did is like I just didn't care what people thought about me. That like I was like, yeah, I'm a Christian. Like, okay, like I didn't really care if people didn't like that or whatever. Like I would talk about God sometimes, not a lot, but I would sometimes if like it was on topic, like if like I don't know how to describe it, like if someone said something and it reminded me of something in the Bible, I don't know, but I didn't really talk a lot about it, to be honest. But that's one thing you could do. You could talk about it and try to witness to your friends if you want. And I also, because I have anxiety, I would write inspiring Bible verses on pieces of paper and would slip them in my binder, and then I would see it all the time when I held it, and everyone else would start reading it like, oh, that's cool. So that's a good way to keep God in your school life, because it's a daily reminder and you're also spreading God's word at the same time. And I also, I have like the end of last year, I got a phone case with a Bible verse on it, and people would read that and think that's cool. And my lock screen had like God's always with you or something like that. And I just think those are ways to keep God in your school life. And then always maybe like, okay, this book is like really good. Every day they have a small devotion, and I think this is a really good way to start your morning, and it would be perfect for school, because when you wake up in the morning for school, you don't necessarily have a lot of time. This will take you like a minute or two to read. It's one small page every morning, and it's like Jesus is talking to you, and it's really amazing. Just always like just try to spend some quiet time with God, even with your busy schedule. What are we on, 9? Protecting your heart from fake relationships. Okay. Middle school is where these fake relationships start, because everyone's trying to be older and they're changing, and it's like, I don't know, it's a weird time. And you just need to be you just need to be careful with who you put your trust in and everything. You just have to really I think I've said this in like the high school survival guide. You just need to be careful who you put your trust in, and then you have to really figure out what you classify as a friend and find that. And really, you're not always going to be able to spot a fake relationship, but your parents definitely will. My parents spotted a fake relationship before I did, and I was like, no, she's cool and all this stuff, and then she ended up being a really mean person. So just saying, your parents always know what's right. Not all the time, but pretty much they do. I would definitely take your parents' advice on your relationships, because they really know what's best. Like, if I listened to my parents, I wouldn't have gone through a lot of heartbreak. So that, and it's kind of hard to protect your heart from it, because really the only way to really figure out you're in a fake relationship is to go through it. So like, just try not to get so upset about it and just move on, and just trust in God, and then try to find a friend that'll lead you to Christ, and one that's nice. That doesn't necessarily have to be a Christian, but like one that's nice and actually cares for you. Lastly, number 10 is I asked my friends for advice because it's been so long since I've been in middle school, and my school was K through 8, so I didn't really have a middle school. It was just kind of like, I don't know, but it's kind of the same concept. But so I asked them, and my friend Grace said this, and everyone agreed with it, so I'm going to read it. She said, "My advice for middle school is not to go in expecting nothing to change. Be open-minded, join clubs, meet people. You might not have the same friends coming out of middle school than you did going in. That's okay. Be open-minded. Don't be afraid to meet new people. Everything will be okay, but things will change, and you need to be okay with that." Basically, that's like the big lesson out of this video is things change, and you have to be okay with that. Change is hard. No one likes change, but we have to go through it, and we have to deal with it. We have a God that's bigger than all of our fears and problems, and He will help us no matter what. So you just need to lean on Him and trust in Him, and you can get through anything. All things are possible through God who gives you strength. So you just need to trust Him. Well, those are all my tips, and I hope you all loved it, and if you liked it, give it a big thumbs up. I don't know what this is. Give it a big thumbs up. And yeah. If you have any more questions, if I didn't cover something that you need answered, just comment down below and I will respond. I'll try to as fast as I can. And if you have any prayer requests or video requests, comment down below. And hit that subscribe button so you know when I post my next video. Well, that's it. I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed week. God bless. See you in my next video.